Hey
Hi.
guys.
Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. We're your friendly neighborhood reading teachers, and we're so
Woohoo.
glad that you're joining us today. All right, weekly agenda. You can see today, Wednesday looks a little bit shorter. You have already completed your question of the day. I know that you have. You're watching your teacher video. We're going to learn about characters and setting. We're going to be writing some letters today, or learning about writing letters. We're actually going to read The Breadwinner on our own. You are today. I hope that you enjoyed that yesterday. And you're going to complete some critical vocabulary questions. So going back to the vocabulary we talked about on Monday, we're going to work on those a little bit more.
And here again, listed are our weekly objectives. I'm not going to read through them today, but should you read through them? Absolutely. Every day, that is an expectation. You should read through all of those objectives, and I want you to just check mark in your head the things that we've done so far and be thinking about what's to come in the week ahead.
And again, we're going to take a look at our essential question before we start reading. And it's, how do you find courage in the face of fear? And hopefully over the course of the week, you're kind of adding a few more layers to that question, especially after you read the story some. So keep that in mind as you read again.
So today we're going to talk about characters and analyzing how characters develop the plot. So we know that in The Breadwinner, we've met our character Parvana, okay? So we know that a character is a person, animal, or imaginary creature who takes part in an action or in the action of a work of literature, okay? It's probably a little bit more in-depth definition than you got in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. Characters take part in the events that make up the plot. So they're the people, the animals, what you're reading about. Without characters, the story is going to be really, really boring because there's nobody to do anything. So both character and plot are essential to fiction because they work together to tell the story. So here are some ways that the character and the plot interact, how they work together. So the authors will create a character's personality. Just like you and I are born with a personality, maybe we're funny, maybe we're sassy, maybe we're shy. An author gives a character a personality, and they give them a set of circumstances. So we know about Parvana, she's courageous, and she lives in an area where it's not okay to be a girl, really. She doesn't have the same opportunities as a girl that girls here in America have. So when the author puts Parvana in this set of circumstances, she's going to behave differently. And that sets the plot in motion. So characters respond to this problem. Parvana's problem is that she's with her family, her dad is in jail, her brother's dead, and they have no way to get the supplies that they need. So that's her problem. How does she interact with the other characters in the story? How does she interact with herself? What does she say to herself? How does she change throughout the story to help solve her problem? Those are the kind of things that we have to think about as we're reading a story. So I want you to pay attention to that as you read today. The characters' responses to the events change and help shape the way that the story, the plot develops. Every decision that character makes furthers the plot. Parvana has lots of choices that she has to make in the story. Is she going to cut her hair or is she not? How might the story have been different if she decided not to cut her hair? Would it have developed the same way? How might the story have been different if she decided, oh, I'm not going to go out to the store? Would her story have ended differently? Yes. So the authors use those choices to help develop the plot. So look for those as you're reading on your own today. Look at the different decisions that the character makes. Look at the different traits that the author gave to Parvana. look at the way that she talks to herself and thinks to herself. You can see the struggles that she has as she's going through the story. And look how she interacts with other characters. You'll notice she interacts with her mom in a different way than she interacts with her sister. Pay attention to that. The author puts all those things in there for a reason.
Well, and that's real life. I mean, the way I interact with Mrs. Cook is going to be different than the way I interact with maybe her child, or maybe the principal, or maybe Mrs. Norman. We all interact with each other in different ways. An author has to think about how to take that and put it into the story.
And it's really interesting if you look at it and you look at it from Parvana's point of view, but then start looking at it from maybe her sister and her mother's point of view, and how all of these circumstances have led to their personalities and how they react to situations.
And that's kind of really a life skill, is learning to look at other points of view and how different characters might be seeing the same story unfold. When you're reading your story today, you're going to log in here, see where it's underlined, you're going to click there, and it's going to take you to the link, the breadwinner. Now, Miss Cook, what happens if they don't click here before clicking this link?
You're gonna get a sad little message that says access denied.
And you're going to email us and say, it says access denied. And we're going to say, did you look at your slideshow?
Here.
You've got to click here. Uh-oh, I think I clicked it. Before clicking there. It's weird. It's just technology. It's what you have to do. You're going to read that story on your own. Don't tell me, but I heard it yesterday. I already know. No, doesn't work. Because we have to read a story multiple times. I am a great reader, really good reader. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I just listen to the story and I don't go back and really do anything, I'm just listening. The first time I hear a story, that's really all I'm doing, is I'm listening to find out, oh, what happens? I'm not thinking critically, I'm just listening. When you go back and read this story today on your own, you're doing all of those things that Mrs. Cook just talked about. You're actually supposed to read and think about what you're reading, and think about why the author did what they did and why it was written the way it was written. So yes, don't skip this step and say, well, I already heard the story, I know it. You've got to read the story. And you're going to find ways that the character and the plot interact.
And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to complete a critical vocabulary Google quiz. Please, please, please use your vocabulary study guide. We gave that to you on Monday in a slideshow, and you filled it all out, and it looks great. I know it does. So whenever you take this Google quiz, go back and use that study guide.
Make a 100.
Make a 100. You have this tool right there for you to use. Use it. Okay?
And I meant to say this, when you're reading your story, The Breadwinner, if for some reason you cannot get into your HMH, don't freak out. We're still having problems with it. There is a PDF file that you can read. It's there. You can actually read it if you can't get into HMH.
Okay, you have a writing journal today. Today is free write. Write about whatever you like. Do not email us and say you don't know what to write about. There are many, many, many things in the world, in your life, all around you. If you can't think of something to write about, find an object in your house and describe everything about it. Do you have a dog? Tell me all about your dog. Use many, many adjectives. I have a white, fluffy dog named Kristoff who likes to jump on me and lick my face.
He is as big as a teddy bear.
He is. So, get creative. I don't care necessarily what you write about as long as it's school appropriate. I really enjoy your free writes because I like to see how creative you are. So, amaze us.
Even if you're just writing about an object, you're meeting the criteria for the day. As long as you're writing how many sentences? At least 10. At least 10. At least 10.
And you can definitely write more. You can write as much as you like.
Sure.
The bare minimum is 10.
Just if you get to the bottom of the slide and you need more room, how do you get that? I had
think
someone ask me that already.
you click the plus button up there right above the little mini slides and it'll pop up a brand new slide and you can click right there and start typing.
Keep typing away. All right, we're going to talk a little bit today about what a friendly letter is. It's just like it sounds. It's a letter to someone that's friendly. Really, in our world, we use friendly letters all the time. We just call them emails. We might be a little bit, I think with an email, we don't necessarily go through all the steps that we do with a friendly letter. Maybe we should.
I do.
I
when
try
I'm
to.
writing an
I know
email.
when I'm talking to you guys, sometimes we just have very short sentences back and forth for time purposes. But if I'm going to write a letter or a letter to, let's say, I don't know, Mr. B. Maybe I'm writing him a friendly letter to tell him about what we're doing in class this week. I'm certainly going to want to write it a certain way. I mean, he's important. He's the boss. I want to look professional when I write to him. So I want to look a certain way when I'm writing my letter. So when we write a friendly letter, we're going to think about who we're writing to. We're writing to friendly people. Okay, Mr. B's a friend. He's friendly to me. If I'm writing to him, maybe I'm writing a little letter that says, thank you for having me to teach here at this school. It's not anything business, it's just friendly. So I'm going to think about who I'm writing to. I'm writing to Mrs. Cook, or I'm writing to my best friend in the whole world down the street. Those are friendly letters. If I am writing to get a job at Dairy Queen, that's not a friendly letter. That's a different kind of letter. We're not friends. I'm just trying to get a job. That's different. So I'm going to look and decide, is it formal or informal? How am I going to set that up? What is it that I want to say in my letter? What's the tone of the letter? Do I want it to be super serious? Do I want it to be silly and funny? If I'm writing, I could be writing a friendly letter to Miss Norman because she hurt my feelings. And so if I'm writing her a friendly letter, still friendly, but I'm telling her about hurting my feelings, my letter's going to sound differently than it is if I'm writing to Miss Norman to tell her, woo, I just won the lottery, I'm going on a cruise, you wanna come with me? So I'm gonna think about the tone of the letter, how it feels, how it sounds, and how I'm gonna present the letter. In a friendly letter, you always have your heading, which is your date. Why do you think it's important to put the date?
Well, when I look back at letters that I've received 10 years later, I don't know when it was written. So I like to have that on there so I know when I received it.
I mean, someday you go back and read your letters and it's like, oh, look, I was in 6th grade when I wrote that. You have a greeting, and when you're writing a friendly letter, depending on the tone of the letter, it might be, Dear Mrs. Cook, Dear Mrs. Norman, or it could be, hey, bro, what's up? Or, hey, sis. It kind of depends on who you're writing it to, but you're going to have some kind of greeting, and then you're going to have the body of the letter, the things that you are saying, your sentences, the letter, what you're writing. Then you're going to have a closing. If it's a friendly letter, it could be your friend, it could be sincerely, it could be love. Those are kind of endings that you use in a friendly letter. And then you're going to have your signature so they know who it came from. Whenever you write a friendly letter, those are the things that you have to have always: a heading, a greeting, a body, a closing, and a signature.
And when you get this done for the day, you can mark your Google assignments as done.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations. And just a real quick announcement. Whenever you receive something back from us, whenever we grade things and we return them to you, make sure you look. And if there is a grade on your assignment, you don't have to turn that back into us. Think of it like us handing you back your papers in class with a grade on it.
That has a 100 on it. Good job, Miss Norman.
I wouldn't just hand this back to Miss Shuttlesworth. No, I'm gonna keep this because it has a grade on it now. But if I handed this to Miss Shuttlesworth and it has no grade on it whatsoever,
It says, you forgot to complete the bottom part.
that means that
Oh.
she's gotta redo it. And then once she finishes that and does it and she turns it back into me, I look at it, A+, put a grade on it, and then I return it back to her with a grade.
Now I'm not going to send it back because it has a grade on it.
Now she keeps it. So that's kind of a little issue we've been having. Whenever we return something with a grade, please keep it. It's yours now, okay? But you're done for Wednesday. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you later.
Bye.